Ehana woyite span unyapik iwo rakapikte. Today we're going to be talking about cooking traditional foods.
It's the same thing with language. We have to fight to bring the food back, just like the language. It goes hand in hand. And not only that, that food is going to heal you. It heals your mind. It's going to heal your body. It's going to heal our spirit. Like it has to go together. Because each seed has a spirit, just like we do. You know, and we look at plants sometimes as like they're nothing, but to me they're more than us as human beings. They're smarter, and they communicate with each other too. And along with that, I have this dream of planting 3 sisters on 2 separate sides of an area, and one side be sung to and the other side just be watered and not talked to, but sang to in Dakota, and the other one just watered, and see what that does. And I feel like that would be evidence-based material there to share with people, like they have a spirit just like we do.
The gabubu bread is a really simple bread that came along with colonization, and it, you know, it kind of has like starts out from maybe a bad time, you know, for us, but for a lot of us, I think that it also has brings with it the memories of our childhood. Hopefully those are, you know, some good memories. The sound that the gabubu bread makes is similar to that of a drum. So if you take a piece of the gabubu bread after it's done, you can thump it with your fingers, and it'll make the sound like a drum. That's how you know that it's done. If your bread gets to be nice and high and it looks nice and golden, you know that it's that you've done a good job in that your family or whoever will enjoy it. If we did continue to use our traditional foods in our everyday eating, that we would be able to eradicate probably the need for Western medicine, which includes having to use those for the variety of the illnesses that our people experience, such as heart disease, diabetes. Those are the two main ones. I think that's probably the most important reason, but also that, our ancestors had all the answers when it came to everything that we needed to know. I think that, we try to reinvent the wheel all the time today, when all we really need to do is just look back in our history, and that's where we'll find the answers that we seek.
Because people didn't even have diabetes before the 1940s. And so when all this processed food from commodities was introduced into our food system, it took a while for people to develop diabetes. So now everybody has it. It's like a norm. It's become a norm. So I feel like if we're really serious about changing that concept of prevention, we have to go back to our traditional food usage. And this generation today has no idea of what that is. So that's why it's very important to me, because I don't want my grandkids to end up with diabetes. And if they do, I want them to understand that there's options out there, and there's a way to reverse it.
I think for our people, I think that food sovereignty is really the answer also. Where we can get away from having to use. A lot of our people are reliant on food stamps and assistance, like commodities. When if we just were cognizant about where our food comes from and how easy it is to produce it, then we could do that, and become free of any of those reliances on the state and U.S. government. When I was little, living with my great grandma, we used to always have fresh kill during hunting season, and not during hunting season. Dry meat was something that my grandma used to really enjoy preparing. She would take she'd always have a good butcher knife, good sharp butcher knife, and she'd take that knife and she would sit and she would slice her. She'd sit and slice her meat and hang it. We'd have it hanging all over the house, hanging in the pantry over this. It was like where you'd hang your coats up. She had this thick dowel hanging in the pantry, and she'd always be hanging dry meat in there. And then wherever she could hang it, she hung it. So it might be hanging on the back of a chair or wherever. She was pretty old school. So I always remember, eating foods like this. I guess you could say traditional foods. Even though some will say that about the bread, that the bread really wasn't a traditional thing, but I think that it's become part of our culture now. So I always remember eating waskuya and bread, always black tea, sometimes mint tea. So you have the meat, which is your protein. You have your dried berries for fiber and for your natural sugar, your water, and your tea is really a necessity, but that was one of the foods. So I think that it's important that we could totally do this, that we could totally save our people, by health-wise, by re-implementing a traditional diet consisting of those three things. The likelihood of it, I don't know what it looks like. All I know is what we're trying to do in our family. So, at home, what we're doing is relying a lot on squash, dried meats such as buffalo and deer, staying away from anything processed, which is really, 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 really hard. Staying away from any unnatural sugars, and wild rice. So that is our goal, to be able to get to that point, where we live in this society too, and it's hard. So I think that as far as a benefit, I think that right there is, I think you would realize such weight loss, probably, your ability and your ability to be more active would come along with a better diet, and really doing away with a lot of those unnatural sugars is really a big part of what we're trying to do.
Ohihana, we were hunters and fishermen, so we got a lot of our meats from Tatanka, Taksha, the elk, all these different animals, and the hoja, different types of fish, and all these different animals ate from the earth, different roots, different berries. And so it had all the good vitamins in there, nutrition that we needed. Plus, it was a lot of walking that we did to hunt, to fish, to spear, so it kept us healthy. Nowadays, it's easy to go to McDonald's or fast food or microwave food. And that's where the diabetes comes from, and high blood pressure, all these different sicknesses. So if we can get back to eating our natural foods like water, meat, corn, and berries, and live like that for a while, some of these sicknesses, most of them will go away. But we're in that time of where everything's moving so fast that we don't have time to prepare healthy meals and grow gardens and get back to the earth. But if we can just take a little bit of time, an hour a day, just to cook something healthy, or go work out in the garden, or go pick some berries, that we'll get more healthier in just that little short time. But we all have to work and take care of our families. But we can do it as a people because we need to get healthy. Diabetes is just carried away now.
Traditional foods consist of water, meat, corn, and berries. You eat those 4 things and then you're set for life. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be good. Nowadays we got Taco John's and Dairy Queen and Pizza Hut. And all that stuff just puts poison in your body. You can see with our people, they're getting diabetes and heart disease, and they're getting chepa. And it's that food is bad for you. So we're trying to go back to our traditional foods like choke cherry patties and buffalo meat, real lean stuff, and liver. Growing our own gardens, going out and picking plants, and digging for roots, and bringing it back to the way it used to be.
Long ago, our people had a connection to the land. This is where they got their food source from, whether it was from hunting, gathering, or growing their own food. After being put on reservations and given rations, and the game was scarce, that these things started to affect our bodies. As Native people, we weren't used to eating sugar, processed foods, flour, things like that. So today, that's where our high rates of diabetes and cancer is from our source of food. So we need to revitalize and bring back our traditional way of eating, harvesting, and the ceremonial use of our food. Our people used to have a close relationship with the plants. They used to be able to communicate with them. These plants provided all the nutrients that we needed to have a healthy lifestyle. So today we just go to the grocery store or the C-store to get our food, and so we no longer are putting in the physical work that it took to gather our food or to hunt our food. So not only are we not eating our traditional healthy foods, but we're also not being active. This contributes to a lot of our obesity and diseases that we suffer from today.